if I am one white guy who grew up in a conservative party in America, and I don't have much money, and I look at black people and say, oh, they're taking all my jobs, and I look at, oh, all these niggas, they just came in from Africa. Africa is so this, they live on trees, they do. People think this way. And I'm in the program, I happen to become a programmer, my biases will filter inside, unless I'm consciously working against them. And even then, biases still come out, and different people have these biases. So you can be biased against people, women, minorities, blacks, Hispanics, people from other places, or even with us in Nigeria, you can be biased against, you know, we care a lot about what's happening to children, but children of Boko Haram, you can have a bias against them, or children from a particular place you don't know. So we need to be able to address these different things, and you can use it when hiring. Here we often openly express our bias, but it's actually not the best thing. So what do you do with AI and bias? Now, before I go to that, remember that with AI, you're just talking about immense amounts of data, and we saw that is the data that they have that AI uses to reach its decisions. And that's why it could tell us so many things about arts and culture and diaspora. It had that data outside, and that's why I challenged the ministry to say, put out more of your data, let's know more. And you'll see everything reflected there. And put in a lot about the Benin culture, Benin everything, and you'll see that outside. If any of you type in, what does a Benin king look like? You might get all sorts of things. We put something about Benin just before I came in, and you saw Benin, the Republic of Benin. Yeah, you were going to say something, yes. Oh, okay. You know, Republic of Benin came up, so all that. So what do? Data cleaning. You need to make sure that these are the people that work with the data. Check their data very much. This is for the people that are working at the back end. They need to remove inaccurate data, irrelevant data. They need to do something that has to do with oversampling and undersampling. Oversampling will be when a lot of your data is from people that are the same. And this can happen inevitably. It's like DNA tests. Incidentally, who has done a DNA test here? Nobody has. Okay, I have. I have done a DNA. Have you? I bet you are putting up your hand for something else. People hardly ever do. People ask me, why did I? Mine was curiosity. My mother is Sierra Leonean, and I was curious about some things because I know a mix. Now, when you do that, you get some surprising results. Why? They don't have data about us. That's why the more Africans that do DNA, the better, because they will have data. So they can equally say you are Esan or you are Edo. Right now they can. They called me 50% Esan, and I'm not. My 50% is here, or Edo, Bini. But one identified it as Esan. And that's because they didn't have the data. So oversampling, they have data from many places. Most of the data is white, Anglo-Saxon, Caucasian. So they don't have much about us. So when you want to remove bias, what will happen then is when you type in, give me a beautiful woman, you're getting a white lady, most likely. Unless you happen to put black there and put some other things, you're getting a beautiful white lady. That's the data that they have. So when you want to stop it, you take away data that's too much in one place, or conversely, you overcompensate. Like if I have data about 10 black people and I need for more, you now continue to duplicate the data so you have more. That's just so that the AI system can understand that the entire world is not heterogeneous and the same. So those are ways in which the people working at the back end, and I don't think there's anybody here, but there might be, because app developers come up from anywhere. They are all over the place. So you can do that, and then you can do different things by training. In short, it has to be worked out for biases. So these are things that have to be done. They have to look at fairness metrics. It's a training. But without the biases out, certain things will happen. You know, when the internet jammed here yesterday, I made a comment and said this can actually be bias in operation, because there are always there are systems that are always trying to deal with cybersecurity. And I'm saying that this website, OpenAI, detected that there was a lot of activity coming from a place here, many people, in a place where normally you don't have many people on the internet. But when you do have many people on the internet in this part of the world, what are they? Scammers. They are scammers, talking frankly. Maybe a group of all those people in King's Court, or I don't know what they call themselves, those different groups of scammers are teaching. So it was a threat that it recognized, and it shut down. But you'll find there'll be a little bit of bias that is there. So there are ways to address it. And then again, it's good for it to be transparent so people can understand how to work and identify. So then you can easily be able to work against them. And then, of course, everything has to be made as transparent as possible and open as possible, because it's very, very real. Black Americans abroad feel it a lot. A friend of mine, I haven't forgotten this, again, during this sort of AI training, she recounted her experience. She's a very successful professional lady. She's dark like me, and she has very short hair. And with facial recognition, she was going into a place where children are not allowed. And there was facial recognition there, and the system barred her from entering. Why? Because the system saw a young boy, even though she is a middle-aged woman with short hair. So there was a bias. The system didn't have enough data to be able to interpret properly. So that is something we need to bear in mind. So sometimes when you get odd results, you have to bear that in mind. In the same way, when you're searching for things like African this, don't be surprised when very often you may get a lion or an elephant, because it's African animals many people talk about. So privacy is a very, very big issue. And one of the books I'm going to tell you about, if you're interested in it, has to do with this. I think I've talked about the book by Jane Hoffman, Your Data, Their Billions, and it's basically talking about how Google, Amazon, etc. make so much money from your data. So they have a lot of personal data, so there are problems of privacy and security. An AI system can track people's movements and spy on them, and you'll have seen that in a few films. So within some of these films, you find the people flinging their phones somewhere, so that whoever is trying to track them now goes to the place where the phone has been thrown and finds that, oh, this is actually a dump site. And then, of course, AI-powered surveillance systems can be used to track people's movements and activities, even in public places. And there are all sorts of things that can be used in these, in these different, going to Selfridges in London, there's a little department there, little space in the basement. You can go to and you can buy different types of spyware. And you'll see that there's a lot of all that being utilized. You know that many of these, it's camera AI in some instances, but many of these talks that you see, where you see a governor saying something, or somebody saying something that he thinks is a private conversation, he's been taped without knowing it a lot of the time. But there's big surveillance that can occur, big time surveillance. And that is why things like different laws have arisen in these areas. This can happen again, data mining can happen. Deep fakes, that one is one thing we really need to understand. Especially those of us here that like to forward, even very annoyed when people forward me videos. I don't want them. I want you to please kindly leave me alone unless there's something that concerns me. But many times people are just forwarding videos anyhow, and you are contributing to a lot of lies in the system. There's something called deep fakes. Videos or images that have been manipulated to make it look like somebody is saying or doing something they never did. It's very, very common. When you see something that's very unlikely, usually it is really unlikely. That's the truth, and it's very often used to damage reputations or spread misinformation. And then, of course, there's hacking, going in to take personal data. And again, we've seen that happen. It happens quite regularly. I think there's one common scam in Nigeria where they say they go to you as a member of a group and they tell you that there's going to be a meeting at any time, and they send you a link and you should click on it and whatever. And many people have gone and clicked on these links and they've run into trouble. So you don't do those things. In fact, I think another thing I have to say generally, with computers and all these things, if you don't know something and they ask you, do you want to do this or click on this? If you don't know, what do? Thank you. No, it's allowed. If it's a genuine thing, it will come back or you can do it. So no is something you need to understand. Sorry. So again, this is what I'm talking about now. And then AI-powered discrimination. The thing doesn't want you. But sometimes this can be a bias. For example, the thing only understands people with names like Smith and Jones, you know. So they now have Omorogbe or they have Ajayi. Then that doesn't help. But you will see as well that as the things get accustomed to hearing all these names, some things will come out more. And as I'm talking to you now, I'm wondering why Yorubas, for example, do something which I love. Yoruba people, like those abroad, will have a name. Like we from here, for example, your name will be, give me a Benin name, long Benin name. No, Oyem, eh? Omoyem, right? Omoyem, yes. Great. You're going to shorten it to SA or SC in America, right? They will do that. Something easy for everybody. The Yoruba person, we give you that whole Omoyem with the accents there. A lot of the time, with the accents there. Chimamanda would have been Mandy if she was from here. Chimamanda has put her entire name there. Ngozi would have been maybe her English name. Well, maybe NG. She's Okonjo Iweala Ngozi. Not only that, she's always wearing Ankara with a head tie. Now, and even though me, I don't like the style of her head tie, and I'm always saying, wow, if only I could change her head tie, I'd make it different, but I admire that. And you see what will happen, the thing will start to recognize Yoruba names, but they are always doing that. Toluwa Lashe with the accents, Mojuba Olu. They put their whole names there. They hardly will shorten their name for you. But we are always reasons why it's dying as well. So this is a privacy issue anyway. Those are concerns here. So as much as possible, again, this is for them. They should basically use anonymized data. For those that want to do that, either use anonymized data or pseudonymized data. That means that pseudonymized, I take on a new personality. I will be Samantha on the web, for example, but all my data will be Samantha data as well. So again, these are things for people that are working at the back end, basically doing things that make it difficult to identify individuals. So there are things that people who work in AI can do to protect the privacy of its data. So how do you protect your data? Basically, users should be given control over their data, choose what data is collected and what data is not. That's easier said than done. Data should be encrypted. Secure communication channels should be used. You know, that's also another problem. The channels that are being used are not the major ones are the finance channels, because people know that they won't give you their data. You can't make money without that as well. So, and also there should be ways to data usage should be monitored. So for us, that is for back-end people. But for us, let's be aware of the privacy settings on the devices and services that we use. Let's share data only with organizations that we trust. We don't have to give everybody our data. Read privacy policies of organizations. Now this one is very hard. I'm guilty of not reading as well, because they give you this agreement, long agreement in small data, and often you just want to get to where you're going and you press agree. And agree means agree, as any lawyers will tell you. That's a simple word. Agree means agree. So then strong passwords and two-factor authentication. That's also something that's good. Some of us don't like. Again, I can be guilty of being very annoyed by some of the strong passwords that are generated by me, but they are really strong. They can't be broken easily. But the soft ones can be broken in no time at all by people who use these things. In fact, the internet will tell you some of your passwords that in 2 seconds, 5 seconds, somebody who wants to break it will break it. Generally, don't use words everybody knows. Don't use predictable words. Don't use your birthday, your initials, your children's initials, their birthdays, etc. Use things people don't know. And we who are from other places with other languages, use non-English words as well. And then there's a two-factor authentication. I think most of us on WhatsApp have basically been told to do that. And I think those that haven't have had their WhatsApp data stolen at some point in time, so that's good to have. Know what you share online. Please, especially the very, well, not the very young, but we have the young here. It's exciting that you've been to a party or you've, bought a new dress and whatever. But please, just understand one thing. What is on the internet is generally there forever. And anybody who wants can get it out. Those that really know how to get it. So what is called delete is delete only for we who don't know it too much. So please know what you share online. A lot of people like to share a lot of intimate stuff. You don't need to do that. So generally be aware of what you're doing, aware of risks, aware of the services, etc. So accountability, just know that this is a difficult thing. It's difficult to hold the systems accountable. And hold an institution accountable. And some countries have ways and means of addressing this problem. We don't have it yet in Nigeria. This is not a developed area of law and regulations. And very often the mistakes are not intentional. They have just happened. But it's a very real issue. All sorts of things can happen. And there are things that are a total irritation. It has happened to me as well as a result of AI. There are some things I am contesting because certain things were done to me. It was obviously one stupid bot in one organization that just did something, but it's what the bot had been fed. So again, transparency comes in if you're improving accountability. Rules and regulations are very important, and that is why the law and regulation has to really come up in this area in all countries. There are some things coming up, like in Nigeria, we were supposed to have a law on lawful interception, and I actually did some consultancy work in that area some years ago, and I came to see a lot that was happening. Lawful interception is the right of the government to intercept your communications and intercept your data and know about you without you knowing. So they'll tap into your phone legally, absolutely legally, and hear everything. That is a possibility. It is being done. So we have to have these clear rules and regulations there. We also have to have standards. That is still a growing area, but you just need to know about it. So there's something called self-regulation. I won't go into that more. If we do a course like this and it's on the regulation of AI, we can go in more and you'll know. But generally, institutions have something they call self-regulation. It's not just the government that regulates behavior. And I think for us in Africa, we'll understand that within our communities, many communities are self-regulated. You know, you set your own rules and you obey the rules and you ensure amongst yourselves. Like even, let me say, amongst those groups that take the osusu, the money, the monthly money, they regulate themselves. Is that not so? They collect the money every month, and they make sure it goes to the right person. And when there's default, what do? There's a fine, and they keep to it. All those groups keep to those things. That's roughly speaking what is self-regulation. And then, of course, independent oversight bodies, and importantly, educating the public about AI. People need to know. So what we're doing here is part of that. Understand the benefits, huge benefits, but also understand the risks of the technology. So to ensure that it's used in a responsible manner, because when it's not, there can be huge repercussions. And you know what? We are going to be the, what's the opposite of beneficiary? We'll be the targets or whatever of irresponsible AI very easily. Why? Because it's an area where we're not represented. It's an area where we don't have enough people, so we need more people. There are a lot of people coming out in these areas. Many of these our young people that are working in technology have actually used artificial intelligence. Like I've said, the entire mini-grid industry in vulnerable communities is driven by AI. Great stuff is happening in AI, but we need to understand and make sure it's used well. So here, again, control. Control is a very, very big issue, and you will see it come up. When you see, for example, that there are problems, the American government, for example, wants more information from Apple about some of its people, suspected drug baron, and Apple doesn't give it. Apple is not giving it because it believes in data protection, and it will get into some trouble. You'll find that as a result, it's true to say that Google is more government friendly. Google is more of a friend of government, so a lot of what is on Google goes out, is freely available. WhatsApp came up as very popular because it was encrypted, and what you go in is really private, so people like it. So there's privacy there, and that is something governments don't like. But for years, there have been apps and things that allow governments to actually go in, or people that are in this area, investigators, actually go in and break into WhatsApp conversations and know what's going on there. And I've known this for years because of my discussion. I remember talking with an Italian investigator. WhatsApp makes no difference to these investigators. They will go in and get their information. So who controls AI systems? Who is it? The government, the businesses, or the individuals? It's a problem. Governments want to go in not because they're nosy packers, but because they need to protect society. The number one reason for government is actually for the safety and protection of its citizens. And I think that's one thing Nigerians forget. Should remember that. So anybody in government is actually there for the benefit of the citizens. So that's one reason that governments should be able to control, and they're trying to put in laws and regulations. But again, governments also utilize these same systems, which is they say they have to know, they have to be able to work in these areas. Now, businesses utilize AI. AI is being utilized, like I've said, in the mini-grid area. It's doing great good. In the financial services, it's doing great good. It's very, very necessary. But then, individuals do have a right to privacy. So there are these tensions that need to be resolved. And these tensions are actually big and major issues that you really need to bear in mind. So, safety. It's a huge issue with many ramifications. I didn't want to go too much into safety issues because getting the use of AI, you need to understand that it's useful. But understand that when you are talking about a technology that allows machines to behave like human beings to a great extent, except that they have no consciousness, they can do everything that we can do, including decimate entire populations. In the same way as human beings will go to war against people and kill everybody, you know, with nobody being taken. An AI-powered weapon can go into a place and devastate it. So it will be much worse than, say, Hiroshima. How many of you know about Hiroshima? Very few. Yeah, but many don't here. The hands didn't come up. Look that up. Devastating nuclear bomb dropped. Till now, the effects are being seen. There are all sorts of horrific weapons right now made possible by AI. The good news is that, generally speaking, most of these weapons are in the hands of two opposing countries. And of course, that means that each one has deterrent value to the other. So that helps to a great extent. So there are many areas, many things that are coming when you're talking about safety. So when you are talking about safety, it's not about the thing harming you, but it's about it being used in the same wicked way that the same wicked way human beings behave. Because humans are behind this, there are certain reasons why certain things are being done or not done. So it's a big issue, many ramifications. So what can you do? Just be aware, understand what you're doing, ask a lot of questions. Really ask. Don't be afraid to be stupid. I always tell people that the stupid person is the one who doesn't ask questions. But the person who asks questions is the intelligent one, because if they didn't know before the question, after the question they do what? They are more knowledgeable. So always ask questions. You know, here, a lot of people are brought up with all this, you ask too many questions, you ask too many questions. They won't ask. You give people, I mean, I'm so tired about the people, you give people some, you give them a task, and there's an instruction paper, and there is the person busy trying to do the thing without reading the instruction paper. Why did somebody bother to write the instructions? The person believes that, oh, I should use your sense. You do have sense, but read the instruction paper and you will know it more. So you need to understand that certain things that we're taught or have been discouraged from doing here are in fact right. Ask questions. In AI, there is nothing wrong with it. And if you do have problems about how people are utilizing AI, report about the use of AI. Now, the last point here that I have in safety, I have emphasized, and this is get involved in the development of AI policies and regulations. Get involved. If you are in the policy area, get involved. In government, you should get involved and understand this. If you are utilizing AI, you should get involved, understand what you're doing, but go into many of these businesses. You know, when I see our youth that are going into all this rubbishy 419, they're actually incredibly ignorant people. Because when they look at the same people using technology for better things, who is Flutterwave? Is it Flutterwave? Which people sold their company for $200 million? Is it Flutterwave? We have big companies that are multi-million-dollar companies. Even below that, Paystack, yes. Look at those boys, young guys, just like younger than most of us in this room. Most of these people have also gone to Nigerian universities as well. And apart from them, there are many others. If you go online, you'll see that many youths cannot tell you what they are earning. Many of those youths that are in legitimate businesses that are doing things that have to do with computers and all, they can't tell you because it is thousands of dollars a month. And they are sitting in their houses in Lagos or wherever. If they like, they move country only to sit in that country. But they are earning that same money. They could live anywhere. They've only chosen not to stay in Nigeria, some of those ones. So there's a lot happening. It's just for me, the governor again understands this and sees that many of these people going into 419, if they went into some of these things, things would be great. There's a lot. Many of you start looking up Nigerian startups and you'll be shocked at what you see. Nigerians are doing a lot there. You people know that, okay, Bill Gates comes on and off. He's interested in health and all that. The, what's the guy, the slim guy, the guy, Mark Zuckerberg, you think that he just came here for nothing? All those people, money motivates them. They can see the activity, good activity, and a lot of it is in Lagos. It's what the governor is trying to create her here. All those people that are stealing people's money, making $200,000 or even making $1 billion, finishing it, being branded as criminals, finishing the money at the end and being poor. They have no sense. These guys are sitting down in multi-million-dollar enterprises. So I think we need to, especially the youth, get your heads together. I know it's not people in this room, but you will know people like that. So all the people buying how many thousand, $100,000 per table functions in this place, etc. Let them get smart. These same guys in Lagos, their counterparts in Lagos in legitimate business are buying 5 million naira per table, whatever, and still making money, and still doing well and not being afraid of police. So as many of us should be involved. When we're there and our data is there and our voices are there, things will be different for us. So I'm emphasizing that, but we need to understand what AI is and what the issues are. So for me, the possibilities are endless, and that's why I have my happy PP there, because I think that it's the way to go. There are many things, there are exciting things happening. Many things are moving forward. And you see my PP has red hair, because part of the problem in Nigeria is they will look at you and say, oh, not responsible. Person has hair like this, not responsible. Has one of those pastel guys. Well, he got long nails like this and funny hair. When you see a lot of these people, they look odd, but you know it's their business somehow. It's actually not ours. Insofar as it's not my head that the hair is on, it's not anybody's business. So we need to understand, AI is evolving, the possibilities are endless, and you or your children or your relations can actually be part of utilizing some of these things to get many great things done. The area of governance and scrutiny will definitely grow. It has to grow. There are laws and regulations, I have to spell that right, regulations in these areas, such as in lawful interception. I stopped on that and I won't go into that so as not to lose people, but laws and regulations will continue to grow. You know, there's something in the law, the first thing you learn in law, maybe after, I think it's one of the first things you learn after one day or even maximum 1 week. Where there is society, there is law. So whenever an activity starts, laws arise to regulate and govern that activity. They have to with society. If the laws do not arise to govern that activity, what you will have is anarchy. And anarchy, an anarchical situation is one where there are no laws, there are no regulations, anybody does what they like. So somebody can just get up and shoot somebody. Somebody can just get up and demolish a house. Somebody can just get up and do all sorts of lawful things, unlawful things. And unfortunately, I'm laughing because that's happening in Nigeria, in so many places right now. So it's sad laughter, but it's not what should be the case. Laws and regulations always come in. The thing is to make sure that the laws and regulations are obeyed. So this is what you need to bear in mind when you're talking. And so this is a what you would call a primer. It's just an opening to this area, but it's something that you need to understand in the same way as you need to have just at least a rudimentary knowledge of some of the things that you were told about neural networks and different ways in which AI works. There they were talking about the technology underpinning AI. Here we're talking about the policy areas, the policy and legal areas, and above all, the ethics of AI, because it's incredibly important. And so, thank you. This is the end of this bit. So I don't know if there are any comments or questions. You know, this is a dry part of the course, but an inevitable dry part is got to be there. So I don't know if there are any comments or questions or things I might have raised or whatever, issues raised. No? So a lot of you have been talking about AI. I think there were questions about AI taking over this or taking over that. Have we addressed any of these points in the course of our class so far? Or let me put it this way, how comfortable are you with utilizing AI right now? Very comfortable? Yes, you want to use it more? Okay, good. Do you think that you've learned how to use it more in a wiser way? Yes or no? I can't really hear. You think so? Okay, okay. So, I don't think there are any comments or questions here. So, maybe we will move on. Imagine, yeah, to the next.
Yes, move on.
Are you breaking up or are you? Eh? Oh, it's a general. Okay, it's a general one. Okay, thank you. So they will come down now. Why did I use this as well? Thank you. Who do I give this?
Can you go like this?
No, go like this.
Eh?
Go like this. Okay.
Which one is emergent issues? Emergent issues. What are you talking about?
Imagine trends.
Yeah.
Basically, we skim through, but we want to do a practical stuff with the emerging trends.
Good.
Yes.
Oh, even now?
Yes. The internet is messing up. It's telling us to update the app.
What?
Just put it.
Just manage it like this because you're wearing a long shirt.
Yeah, why didn't you tell
I
me?
don't want them to see your singlet.
No.
Okay.
You are a juicer.
You off your own now, so I'm going to be
Yeah, I'm taking it off.
What's your internet speed? Are you on 5G?
Okay.
future, or for those that even teach. Very important. You yourself need to know how to operate, or basically have knowledge on what you are doing, so you are not found wanting when AI is being used. So don't come before a class of kids and say something, and one of the smart kids just point out something and tells you, look, what is this? Then you get shocked, and you are not sure of what you are doing. Also in agriculture, you can see a field. AI actually generated this. I think there's something like Okomo. I've seen a picture of it like this. So AI actually generated this. I know you have this kind of pictures around the world. So definitely everything has to be generated by AI. So you have AI in precision agriculture. So basically AI can tell you if the crop yield you are going to have for a year based on predictions. Rainfall is very important too. AI can give you all of this. Just from NIMET and other agencies, they can use AI to predict some of these yields and your resource optimization. Also in legal and compliance, I know this is for the experts. Prof, I know you've used AI for some of the research. So essentially, make it more productive and efficient. So for the teachers, it helps you to teach your student better, get much more materials, just like we've used here. For marketing, it's very important. For us that are into providing electricity to last mile communities, some of the work we do off-grid in the waterlogged areas, it has helped us to be able to monitor in real time consumption of electricity. They may not have the infrastructure for every other thing. They may not be interested in AI. Basically, they need the light. So AI helps them. It impacts their lives, their cold storage as well. So also, if I would help companies fight disasters as well. So if a company is going to launch a new product, it can use AI to know the consumer behavior, so it can predict maybe how many volume or sales would essentially what's the volume of sales that can happen within a month, within a year, and for a period of time. So basically it's forecasting and prediction analysis. This is also data analysis. In your organization, you can have a data analyst. It may take a longer time for the data analyst to do this, but AI can make it very fast. So it helps you essentially be more efficient in your workplace. And you can see AI as giving itself a robot on the seats, like in an office. So AI is working on a computer or working on itself. So also you helps us contribute in two folds for job roles, your workforce. So it will help you for repetitive tasks, for clerical work. I think for admin people, this is very important. AI helps you do certain things where you have to maybe input names every single day. So AI can help you do. There's a use of AI for like registers. When you come to an office, you don't need to write your name. It can pick up your phone. When you get to that area, it tells that you've resumed the work that day. If you've not come to work, AI will be able to detect your location wherever you are. So it's like a software that connects employees of an organization. Most people don't like it because when you want to skip work, it'll be able to tell you, okay, my boss, I'm going to the hospital, but you went somewhere else. We all do it, right? You don't do it? So if you've never seen the application, Mr. Joe has created something like that for organization. So he can tell you if you're in this building or where you are. So you can no longer say, I went to a hospital where you are somewhere else. So it will track your register. Won't you like it in civil service? You are not clapping. Okay, I will ensure that it's deployed for all of you. Mr. Joe, what is it called again? There's a name we call it. Okay, talk about it. Okay. Okay, so we want to have a practical, I'll leave this on, but we'll do a deep fake where, okay, we will connect your system. Yes, just bring her.
This is going live too.
Yes, it will go live, but we'll just use her system. It's the HDMI.
She wants to play the robot video.
Yes, yes, she'll play it. I think it's far. You have to come closer. Okay.
Check if it's the same.
Probably won't, so I'll get it from somebody else. Whose is this?
Email it.
Okay, it's on YouTube, right?
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
Okay, let me search for
Just
it.
search for AI fainting. AI fainting and you'll get it. AI fainting. What it will give you
Okay, let me just.
without YouTube.
Okay, without it, let me just.
AI fainting. Yeah.
Videos, okay.
AI fainting.
Yes, let me go.
Yeah. 50-second one.
50 seconds, okay, this one.
That's it.
So this AI walking and it got slow at a certain time. I think this is like the New York Stock Exchange or Amazon sweater. So this AI. So this is it again. The video is being played repeatedly. I mean, AI can do it faster than we can do it, but it got to a point that it got tired and fainted. So, okay, so, are you ready? Connect. Come and use this. So we want to conduct something practical for you. Okay, where is he? I should. Should I? Oh, you are doing with him.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. Answer me now. Don't worry, this is not the boring part of this something. So, we want to do something practical.
You're supposed to give him mic so that you can be hearing me. You have to off this one. This one is off already. And just mic it. That one is off already. Just give me that one.
I'm teaching you this.
If you can help me mark him.
Not so that. No. Let me establish it.
This one, okay. It's okay.
Please hold on, eh? I will explain to you why Mr. Desmond is very excited. He has already been scammed. By who? By Prof. Instantly. Mr. Felix, I want you to do something.
You don't believe.
I want you to do something. Now, I'm going to show you one application now. Please, let me kneel down to beg you people. This is Edo State. Please. I don't want to hear that somebody has resigned. Then the person will now buy one GLK next month. Please. I'm teaching you this so that you don't fall victim. The way people are saying go ahead now, hope you are just doing it. You want me to go ahead for educational purposes?
Disclaimer, we did not teach them. Please, state is a disclaimer, we did not teach them.
Okay. There's only one little challenge in the course of this training. I'm having, issues with my microphone. So Mr. Desmond will not be able to hear what I'm saying. I don't know. Mr. Desmond, can you hear me? Okay, he can't hear me. Now, had it been he can hear me now, see this, with the use of this software, it's called expression camera, right? Mr. Felix, I want you to be here. I want you to just stand there. Don't do anything. Don't smile. Don't laugh. I want to scam Mr. Desmond. And I know that because Mr. Desmond respects Prof so much, to the point that if Prof say, please, they just keep, sorry, man. God for, no, let me don't use that. Okay. I want to use what they usually do. Prof, I'm very sorry. They just kidnapped me now and they are saying, if I don't pay $50,000, they won't. But you know what will happen? Because you know me, I am Prof. I am a billionaire. When I come back, I will give you back your money. Tell me now, Prof, is this not you? Is this you? Is there a command in this picture? This is what Mr. Desmond is saying. Mr. Felix, smile a bit. Mr. Felix, laugh, please. Mr. Felix, can you move left a bit? Just turn your head. No, your face left a bit. Right a bit. Not too much, not too much. If I were using a MacBook or one of these Alienware systems, those systems, they sell almost 2 points and 3 points million with very high graphics card. You won't be able to tell any difference here. Mr. Felix, what is your name, please? Yeah, just say something. I want them to see the simulation then. This is what... Let me explain something to you now. This is the app, right? This is this app now. I've uploaded Prof's picture. This person is not seeing this app. I have connected this app now to either Zoom or Google Hangouts. Now, this is Google Hangouts now. This person now does not know that I am using this app. Stand still, please. Stand still. Stand still. This person doesn't know that this is being doctored. This is not Prof. But then, since it's Hangout or it's Zoom or Skype, sometimes they can go as far as using WhatsApp message. I can do that one, but I will not tell you people how to do that one. Just use this one first. They can go as far as using WhatsApp call. So imagine I need money from somebody, from your husband. All I just need to do now, snap you, or your brother, or your son, or your child, or something. I don't need to snap you in this position and upload this your picture like this. Put it there and go and look for a lady that can sound like a woman and say, just fake cry. This is your child now watching this video. My son, one thing, please can you send me money? Because he has seen your picture. If Prof's son sees this picture, this is my mom talking. Why wouldn't I send her $50,000 that she's asking me for? Thanks for which information. I don't know if we are together. There are so many parts, so many levels of AI. We are having network issues, otherwise there are so many applications that I can show you. We even have AI now that can simulate Prof's voice. Just because if I tried this one time, I did this and I asked myself, okay, I'm a male now. If I speak, if you can see the mic error, whatever here, otherwise he would hear what I can converse with him. But the problem is, when I'm talking to him, he's saying Prof, I'm sounding like a man. How can I now take it to the next level? All I just need to do, go to YouTube, www.youtube.com, then search Professor Yinka Omorogbe's SAN presentation at JUPSA. Extract the audio. There's an AI that can simulate your voice texture and every single thing. I don't know how many of you have ever used Google Talk. When you go to Google Talk and you put my name is, you have the option of selecting the voice that comes out. You can select a male's voice, a young person's voice, a baby's voice. Now AI is as bad as simulating somebody's voice. I just need a clip. I just even need like a 15 seconds voice notes from Prof. Put it there. AI will take its time now to study how Prof pronounces stuff. So when I'm talking to this guy, I will already connect now the AI voice stuff. Put Prof's voice texture there. So when I'm saying hello, ma, please say hello.
Hello?
When I say hello, there's a difference. But when I've copied this her voice texture and put into that AI stuff, when I say hello, this is what I sound like.
Hello?
Wow.
So when I'm sounding like this and you are seeing this is Prof talking to you. You are in trouble. Okay, you people are not happy again, Abi. No, when you guys are done talking, just let me know. Then ask me your question. Take your time. Let it marinate. Let it marinate. Mr. Felix. Yeah, I want the questions now. They are trying to ask some sort of questions. So I need questions at this point now. Mr. Andrew. We have, okay. Okay, see the mic here. Hope no one is scared at this point. Hope no one is scared at this point. You are scared. So you know we've only been talking about AI. Hello, tell me about the educational sector in Edo State. Okay? Hello, please let's maintain some decorum. Thank you.
What we see on that display. If you wave your hand up, will it correspond to cross picture?
Question now. There's a limit to what tech can do. When you understand that part now, then you will know that we are not trying to come and say, I don't need to jump like this or play football now for you to send me $50,000? How can you know that I'm the one talking to you? Even when you want to open a bank account, they don't ask you for your full frame photo. They just need your what? Your passport photo from your neck upward. That is the only part they need. So why should I go through the stress now of showing an entire image? I don't know if that makes sense. The creators of this app now, they've sat down. I mean, even our dear friend, dear Mr. Desmond, we only need his lips to speak, his eyelid to move, and maybe his face to move a little bit left, a little bit right, for us to know that this is a living thing. We don't need him to start doing waving and anything, no. I don't know if you understand. So the people that have created this app now, I'm not the one who created it. They just focused on yeah and yeah. I don't know if there are other applications now. I saw one, but I don't know where the video is. On my WhatsApp. If I play that video for you, I've been looking for that application. If I play that video for you, you will be scared. Let me play it. Just hold on. I'll take your questions. Yes, hold this thing. No. No, give me my phone.
Where's your phone?
It's somewhere there. Yes, just connect it. We should just have this one. Let me. It's not going to show that. Don't worry, I'm very close.
Don't send it to me.
Check your WhatsApp if you can see it.
Don't worry, give me the mic. Okay. We're still having network issues, so permit me. I was going to answer your question with a video. I saw an AI application whereby a group of young boys, internet fraudsters, they were in a room videoing themselves, and they placed their very expensive computer there. And they were going to use the image of, that one is more sophisticated than this. They were going to use the image of a lady. Now, what that one can do now is that I can now hold this microphone and it will show that person holding the microphone there. That's how bad it is. Now, how can you avert this? This is where common sense comes into play. There's almost nothing you can do about it. That's the truth. There's almost nothing. AI is now as bad as somebody being able to just sit with his or her computer with good internet. They can clone your phone number, sir. They can clone your bank account. They can do almost anything. So now, how can we now avert stuff like this? Is Mr. Desmond here? I want him to tell us what he saw over there so that you understand the experience. If he actually saw Prof or he saw something different. Now, how can you spot what is happening? How can you know that, okay, Como, I am being what? Scammed. I'll use text now for the first example. How many of you, if I send you money now to your account, if you use FCMB, you see FCMB, credit alert message from FCMB. How many of you uses FCMB, First Bank, whatever it is? You usually receive credit alert, right? Yes. How many of you take your time now to look at this number that is sending this credit alert? If you notice, there are some, most of them, they are non, you can't respond to them, right? If you go to First Bank's website, I think it's www.firstbank.com or www.fcmb.com. Because I'm a web developer, I've done some fcmb.com. I hope this internet. Okay, FCMB is loading. Please cancel those stuff for me. Those dialog boxes. Accept all and okay this. This is FCMB's website, right? Yeah. This is FCMB's website, right? Yes. Follow me. How can I use this FCMB website to scam you? It's very easy. If I want everything that is here, there's a tool that can do that for me. I'm a web developer, I know the tool. There's one they call httrack. Once I copy this URL and put it on httrack, it copies every single thing the way you can see it here. Copies everything and creates a separate website for me. Now, if I call this fccmb.com, you catch me. Am I correct? Yes. If you are smart enough, you catch me. All I just need to do now is go to Upperlink, go to godaddy.com and buy a domain called FFCMB. So if you are not focusing on what is happening, if you are not paying attention, you'll be like, okay, there's F there, there's C there, but you are not focusing, okay, this F is double. That's one way I'll catch you. And when you open it, you are seeing exactly what you can see on what? FCMB's website. But now, let me tell you how this guy does theirs. Because this is FCMB, I don't know if you've seen this character set. We use it in Nigeria, especially when you want to spell our dialect, our native names, whereby you put A with a little bit of apostrophe at the top. How many of you used to pay attention to that little apostrophe? You can almost just ignore it. If at the end of this B, where that full stop is, there was a little bit of apostrophe there, how would you know if you are not paying attention? You know the way they do it, they send you the link. So, because of what, we call the subconscious, we are too used to saying FCMB. So when we just see something, our mind will just say, this is FCMB, no need to peruse it. Just click on it, bam. Maybe you will just see one new advert, click on this link, win 50,000 naira in FCMB by performing 5 transactions. But you will not know that this is not the real FCMB. There's an apostrophe at the top of the C. It looks like a C, but is that C? Answer me. It looks like an A, but is that an A? I don't know if we are together here. Yes. AI, the biggest mistake you can ever do is to give AI the leverage of being smarter than you. I already said it. There is no substitute for research and common sense. I started today's training with that. There is nothing that can ever beat research, self-education, and common sense. It looks like it. Let me explain. I read a book some time ago. I can't even remember the day. They said never mistake gold-plated for gold. If you are not careful, 90% of everybody here will choose gold-plated because it shines brighter than gold. If you are not careful, how can you now test for real gold? It says when you expose it to what? Heat. When you just take gold-plated close to it, you don't even need to put it on fire. Just take it close to it. Just subject it under the sun. You will just see it's not turning brown, but it shines brighter. Please, as we've taken our time to train you on AI, use AI rightly, but most importantly, never let your smartphones be smarter than you. When do you see this thing, they say smartphone? You know, sometimes I pity people. iPhone 11, no, iPhone 5, iPhone 4. iPhone 5, you sold your iPhone 4, you bought iPhone 5. You think the person that is creating it doesn't know what they are doing. They will just put in, 3 cameras, 5 cameras. You think, okay, you are a big man, you understand, paying more money. These advancements, they are doing it to get more stuff from you, to gain more control from you. Some years ago, they sued Mark Zuckerberg because of this same stuff. One comedian now used it to make a joke. He was like, he came back home, he just got a job, so he came back home. He has home automation in his house. He said he came back home, and then he was trying to ridicule Mark Zuckerberg. So he said he came back home, and he shared his experience at the market or something like that with his wife. He told his children. So his male son, his son laughed, his daughter laughed, his wife laughed, he laughed, and then Alexa laughed. Was I talking to Alexa? But Alexa was listening, was eavesdropping. You know, there's a difference between listening and eavesdropping. If I'm talking to you, I want you to listen to me. I'm aware that you can listen to what I'm saying. But when I'm talking to everybody here, Mr. Andrew goes behind this place now and is doing like this behind the door. If I make a joke here, he's going to laugh. But do I know that he's laughing? How is Alexa and Siri knowing that that guy just told a joke? His wife laughed, his son laughed, his daughter laughed, and Alexa laughed. We should be conscious of ourselves when using these devices. iPhone 15 will be out very soon. Those of us who already have, it's out, right? They said September it should be out. Those of us who are using 12, 13, and 14, I know you're already planning on switching to 15. What for? Let me ask you, what for? What for? To be the most expensive person in the room? Upgrade to what? Upgrade to what exactly? Just raise your hands. These people, they've taken us from, if you use an iPhone 5 right now and place a call to iPhone 15, voice call, video call, whatever kind of call. In short, there is no app that you will have on iPhone 15 that iPhone 5 cannot collect. Why are we upgrading? So that when we hold our phones, snap pictures, we have 3 cameras, but we are forgetting the bad danger this thing is doing to us. Please, of ourselves. as we use these tools in government, in this and that, let's understand, not every AI tool again that you must do. Now, in lots of organizations, as consultants, IT consultants and all that, I noticed something, that whenever I step into an office, someone will just call me, oh, I heard you're an IT guy. Like, okay, come. See, I've been trying to download an antivirus. It's not working. Why will you go to internet and download antivirus? What are you antivirus on? Because they called it an antivirus, you feel it is actually an antivirus? Because if I come to this place now and you see the first slide, Pastor Joseph Napoleon or Pastor Napoleon Joseph, you will just call me man of God and start calling me daddy, daddy, daddy. Do your research. Do your research. How many of you know Brain Jotter, the skit maker? Brain Jotter has one Sunday episode that usually, is like a church setting. And he has one, permit me to use the word, foolish pastor. Whenever that pastor is misbehaving, Brain Jotter will just come, take the mic off his hand and be like, who ordained you? I'm the general overseer. Like, how come you are a pastor misleading people? Like, who ordained you? Sometimes we need to ask these applications. We need to ask ourselves. When you see Facebook, don't just say, okay, because Facebook say click to update, read terms and conditions. You know, Nigeria will just buy something, tear the paper, beg. Junior, go and throw this paper away. And just press on. Bam. Okay, next. Skip. Bam. We are there. As long as it's working. What are you saying okay to? What are you doing accept all? When we loaded this website, you saw accept all. You saw okay. You will not focus on these other parts. They will make the okay very big. So you ignore this other thing and just go straight to the okay. Why are you not paying attention to the little things? Please, AI is man-made. Please. AI is what? Man-made. And the problem with AI is that in Pidgin, the Benin people now in the town hall meeting, when they wanted to do AI, the Oba of Benin now say, okay, I put Benin inside. Then Oba of Elegushi say, put Elegushi stuff. Then the Hausa people, no. Somebody that has never been to Africa, just ask somebody, what do you think happening? Please, let us stop this Western story to everything. Please. And because we are all government officials, now to address that video stuff, that deep fake stuff, whenever you get a phone call, I like the military very well, because there's this phrase, I think we have military people in the house here. I saw some people in uniform. Are they still here, please? Let me... Man o' War? Yes. Can you give them the phone, please? I think they are at the back there. Please signify by raising up your hand, please. Please, okay, see him there. Please, yes. I want to explain something to you now, how you can catch a fraud now, okay? Please. Please give him the phone, the mic. Okay, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, sir.
I like the fact that you have your colleague there. Now, in the military now, because I have a friend who is... Okay, in the force, whatever now. Oh, it's nothing related? Okay, have you ever heard of the phrase esprit de corps? Have you ever heard of the phrase esprit? You've heard of it? Now, sir, what does esprit de corps mean? Why do those in the military or paramilitary uses that phrase esprit de corps? Please, let's listen.
It's
It's actually not an English word.
Okay.
But when you meet a colleague and you say a spirit call, it automatically sends a signal to that person that we are in the same line.
So the fact that your husband is calling you now and using this deepfake procedure is calling you now, your husband is calling you via video call now and saying, honey, they want to kill me, blah, blah, blah. Don't just jump into doing what you know something that you will ask your husband, and your husband will tell you. If he's actually your husband will give you what you want to hear. Some of us, we are so emotional that if you tell it, there are some girls that if you just say I love you, they can go and tell their parents' house. There are some boys that if you say you love, just stand. Please let us be intelligent emotionally while operating artificial intelligence. Thank you very much. Okay. Mr. Desmond, please come. Sorry, my microphone was faulty, so you couldn't hear what I was saying. So tell me, I called you on Hangouts, Google Meet.
Google Meet.
So please, tell them what you saw. An image of Prof, or you saw Prof.
I saw an image.
Was it looking real time, yes or no? Did you believe that this was actually Prof?
It was a live image. I believe it was Prof. But the only thing I have seen Prof this morning, so I said Prof is wearing a native, but she was on.
Now, one last question. Thank you. One last question. If you hadn't met Prof this morning, and you respect her very well, yeah?
Very well.
If she said now that, she's not she's not having cash and she needs to give Mr. Felix 20,000 naira, what will you do?
I will give her if I have it.
If you don't have it and you have your ATM card, what will you do?
If I don't have it and I have my ATM card,
and there's a POS store outside,
I'll transfer the money to her.
Why?
Because I know Prof is in need.
And you have seen her, right?
Yes.
You have been scammed. You have been scammed. Your account has been debited.
Prof will return it to me now.
Prof will return it to you.
Yes.
If you were a MAGA in America,
yes,
and I impersonated Prof, how would Prof return it to you?
Prof is there.
Your money is gone.
She will not return it to you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that is just AI. Thank you very much. If you have further questions, that later. Thank you very much. So please, bottom line, be very, very careful. Just be careful. Okay? Thank you.
Give him the mic. He's going to use my phone. Who's that? The other guy. So give him your mic.
Okay.
I'm not using for this one.
So, okay, did you have something to say?
You can? No.
Okay, so.
Have your person like feedback.
Yes, after even during there's going to be a bit of a feedback thing. Okay. So, thank you very much. So you can see how so many things can happen. This is real lifetime pictures being used, and whilst the person saw me, what if the person hadn't seen me before? The picture they picked was a picture of me on the internet. Very valid, proper picture. In fact, incidentally, that particular picture was even taken by T.Y. Bello. If you know that. Yes. So it's real for somebody who doesn't look properly or who doesn't think. So those things happened to us a month or two ago on WhatsApp. Somebody close to me. We conversed and I just sent a text to say, oh, are you in Nigeria now? And the next thing is she gives me that same sort of message that, oh, I badly need to send money to somebody who is stranded somewhere. And I have to give this person that, so please, just send me this money now. Help me send the money to him, to the person. And gave me that account. And this somebody with a big network, she has a group. And I looked at it and I said, oh, this is strange, this isn't like hand. So I wasn't fast, but there was nothing in my head saying I wasn't going to send the money at all. I actually wanted to at a point. So I slowed down, and then at a point, I just decided to check something on the group she was on. And I found that almost all of us had got that message about her needing money, and some people had sent it as well. But, you know, so those things are happening. It's just there was a slight check in me that it sounds a little bit different, you know. And what was it that sounded different? It was her terminology, but because we hadn't talked for some time, I would have expected her to say, Prof, see what's been happening to me. See this? But there was nothing. There was just this, I have this problem and I need to give that person something now. So we all have to be smart. We all have to look. I'm always telling my friends, this thing of sending messages, especially messages that you don't like, from people you don't like. If you will notice, when we were looking at the Google bars, the first place my eye was going was the website that the pictures came from. And that's why I commented about one website that's relatively unknown. If you are getting news from certain types of websites, take them with many pinches of salt, not one. You don't have Guardian newspaper this day, Vanguard, you have some odd thing that came out from nowhere. You know, look at the website, look at where, I will mention some. There are some here that are always sending very spurious stuff for what is propaganda. So we need to use our eyes. That's why I really like what Napoleon said. Common sense is a very important feature. So right now we're going to have, we are still very much in interactive mode.
Do you have a slide?
And
No.
what I have
What
done
I could do is a URL,
invite
is a
one
laptop
of
I
us
can
to
use
talk
to,
about
in
his
case I have
life
any
in the
URL.
AI world.
Okay, I can use a laptop.
And then we are going to be, and I'm not quite sure what I should do. Should we have chairs so I can be asking questions? Maybe we can have chairs. Because, but he's the main one talking. So, thank you. Maybe we can, and my chair here now, it's easier to take a chair at the corner. Thank you very much. Please, give me the second chair, right? That chair. There's still a chair for the DG if she comes in again. Sorry, is that the issue? No. Or not with us?
Check if your mic is on.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, it's on. Let me
Yes,
check.
so
Let's say I want
can
off.
we have
Let me check. No, your own is on.
Yes, okay, thanks.
I want the background.
Oh, okay. Can I use the hands free? Because
What is the conversation?
okay, just AI and daily living.
Okay, thank you. Are we fine with the screen? Okay, so please come. Sorry, Andrew. Oh, please give me my phone, the black one. Sorry, give me my phone, the black one. Aha. Thank you. That one. Okay. Okay, sorry, just in passing. You know that people are talking about status and phone. Yeah, can I have one of the? Thank you. Status and phone. It really one has nothing to do with each other. This one is Samsung 10. This one in my hands. I think they're on Samsung 20 what now?
23?
23 could be Samsung 10. I use my phone because my family gets embarrassed by my phones a lot. But this one is very functional. If I change it, I will have issues. I can't get to America to change it. Otherwise, I'll be thrown out of some apps because they won't recognize me. This is my second phone. Is Samsung 20 Ultra. They are 23, right?
Yeah.
How do I have a 20 Ultra? Because I took my husband's phone. Every time I'm going to look at the phone, say, yeah, when I see the price, I can't buy, I can't afford it. I say this because I see some people with some hot iPhones that I'm shouting I cannot afford, but I know I have more money than those people with it. It's actually not a status symbol. You know what's a status symbol? You are your biggest status symbol. Okay, yeah. So as I'm being wired,
Prof, someone wants me to ask.
Please, yes.
Please, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Gloria. I work with Edo Broadcasting Service. I just remembered something still on Mr. Joseph's topic. Some time ago, I was chatting with someone on the phone.
Please, let me just
it was Facebook Messenger, I can't remember. So I asked a particular question. So it's like that person was already thinking ahead, was being smart about it. So that question I asked didn't go down well with that person. So he was chatting with, and he sent a message, call me. So he needed to him. And is there a means or is there a device that we can use immediately to switch? Maybe so that it could be my voice that the other person would hear and would start to talk. Because I know the person wanted to be sure that it wasn't a scammer that was having that conversation with him at that time. Okay, that's my question.
My 3 young techies will be able to answer and say yes, there are things. But that is why he's now said, call me. And that's why all the authentications say call you. And that's why your phone is so important. Because they will call you with your number or with your email. So that is it. But I know that the answer is yes, you can sound exactly the same way. In fact, Napoleon is not in group right now. He's more or less told us that all the apps, you will sound the same, but if your head is sharp, you can sound the same word-wise, but there are expressions that you use, certain things that you
personal,
say.
yeah.
It's like me, for example. It's from my staff around me that will know I always say fantastic, oh fantastic. So they will pick out some things that you say in a part. So there's no substitute for the head. There's no substitute for some things. And your phone is very important. Your email address is very important. They are used to authenticate. And also for some apps, like I said, it's my pen, Samsung pen that's a few years old. I can't drop it easily. I will immediately have to start proving I am who I am for some apps to be able to check on things that I'm doing. And I'm not ready to go through that now. So if I really want to change it that badly, I'll get into America, change it so that if I have problems, I can walk into those places and they can verify me. Otherwise, they will clean me out and I'm not going to get it. So security is a very, very, very big issue. Completely.
No, I don't have a slide. I don't have a slide. I just told them a topic.
You know what? Let me just have this.
The mic. No, I don't have a slide. I just told them a topic.
No, you're talking. This is yours, right? Thank you. Let me do so.
Just hang it.
Okay.
Tell me the URL if I do so.
Yes.
Okay.
This is your background to start with.
Okay, this is the background. Okay, you want to talk about this afterwards when we're doing the question and answer. Where is the mic? He's got his. Yeah, we're talking now. Okay. Thank you. So if it's off, let me know. Thank you. So please sit down. So I have somebody who works in this area. I'm very intrigued by him. He's with us. You should know 1 or 2 people in this room. You don't know anybody?
I have seen a couple of faces.
Okay. Some of you know him, right? A few of you shyer ones know him because I didn't hear a yes. Okay. So what's your name?
My name is Eliho, Esosa Eliho.
Esosa Eliho, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, basically I'm an IT enthusiast.
You are a what? IT enthusiast, yes?
Yes, I'm from Benin City. I've been here most of my life.
Can you hear him clearly? No, so you have to make sure.
My name is Eliho, Esosa Eliho. Born and bred in Benin. Where do you want to? Eliho, E-L-A-I-H. So I'm from Benin City here. I live and work here in Denver.
Tell me more now. What is your profession?
Okay, that's an interesting question. By training, I'm an engineer, an extra low voltage engineer. So that means I do telecoms, infrastructure, hardware, software, basically anything that has to do with technology. So that's my background. But also, I'm also into business management and consulting.
Okay, so you are, what did you call, hardware engineer is what you call it?
My primary role right now is a systems integrator.
No, what did you study?
Okay, computer engineering.
Computer engineering is what you studied.
Yes.
What are you doing now?
Okay, currently, I'm a project manager for the consortium that's into fintech, microfinance, and higher education. So I'm management consulting, and basically what I do is go into any area in all these organizations and solve issues. Any area that needs transformation, we're trying to do recruiting, we're trying to do anything that has to do with technology, integrating solutions, basically improve business processes. So since I have many years of background in engineering, also areas in business, so I blend those tools just to make things more efficient.
Okay, so how has AI enhanced your life?
Well, AI has been very interesting for me, and also for me it's because I'm a bit lazy. Lots of people think I'm hardworking, but I'm actually not very hardworking. Yes, it's the truth. When I go to an office or a place, I don't like repetitive tasks. People are doing the same thing over and over again. So I kind of found myself spending time and hours to set up processes so that I don't have to do those things over and over again. Because this monotony and repetition, copy and paste, do this, do that. So actually, I would say it's laziness that I got into most parts of technology and AI, because computers work faster than us. And that's why we built it, to make, those days, my elder wanted to tell us of the kind of computers we had in school, massive mainframes, how they used to carry cards, punch cards, and do all that. And I'm like, how? We are now programming and doing so big, but these guys, they literally have coding on paper, slotting in these cards to do some tasks, to compute age, median, basic maths that I can just tell my app now, they have voice to do it for me. So, yes, so for me, I started, AI has been very wonderful for me to remove this monotony data entry and more efficient. Why would I want to waste my brain power and time doing those things I can delegate to someone to do it for me?
So you see, why would he waste his brain power and time on repetitive tasks or on something that the computer can do better for him? Such as, for all of us, writing that first draft of your memo, writing that first draft of anything that you are doing, because that first draft will provide the framework upon which you can work. So, yes.
You guys are aware Google has a new feature now that they can help you write. For example, now you're trying to reply, maybe do a refund, or maybe Jumia had an issue, you want to do a refund, and you send an email complaining about it. You can actually, in the email now, there's a prompt that has a small check mark there.
Within the email.
Yes.
Please, let's note this. Within the email, he's telling us, for those with Gmail, there is a prompt there.
Yes.
So go on, please.
So Google have now implemented some sort of AI that can help you write this in context. For example, want to return an item, there is a return number or whatever, and you don't know how to write it. You can actually read that email and know that, oh, this is an issue, this is the item. And you can just say, help me write. And they come to throw it all out. You can now tell it to expand more, make it more detailed, or you can tell it to make it a summary. I've seen people who have used it to reply organizations, some people have used it to draw so many things, like you're replying your boss or something. But again, you must be free and read. The chatbots are still learning. We are the ones that are training AI. You or all of us that use emails and all that, we are the ones that train these learning models. So these things are available for them. So as simple as a letter of like a job description, like a JD, you're a manager, you're hiring somebody, it can help you do all that right.
Yes, so you see, we are the ones that are training AI. Isn't that what we've been saying more or less? And we're giving them data. So when you don't see your data, don't complain. Start to put in stuff there. Put in plenty stuff, be moving around. Make sure, if there's one reason why, naturally I'm not a press person, but the press helps you put your data outside. Provided it's real press that knows how to get outside and that will be listened to for that part of the world where we're underrepresented. So it has enhanced your life generally, right? Okay, good. So, I'm curious, just describe a typical day in your life.
So in the context of AI, in the morning, I'm supposed to get up to do my morning run, walk around, I try to stay healthy a bit. So I'll put on my smartwatch, any regular watch that's it's just a regular, very old, like 60 ounce Samsung. But the watch has a pedometer, it's called. It counts your step.
Sorry, it's a Samsung watch now.
Yes.
So it's an electronic, very different from my type that's completely analog. Can't count a thing, do anything. So don't tell people so they think it's what you are saying. So it's.
In the building and the elevator is usually always done at the end when we are done. So I find myself climbing stairs up and down. Actually, every day I get up on the next morning, I'll actually see that the number of flights of steps I took is actually accurate. It's up and down, up. It records that. So your phones can actually do that. So the intelligence is, there are sensors in each phone that know when we move. Some of them are accelerometers, so they actually know when you are in a car. So it's not going to count when you are driving, because a human being can't really go more than how many kilometers per second. So it actually knows that we're actually in motion in the vehicle. It also knows when you're actually walking, because walking is more natural. Walking is not at a continuous pace. Sometimes we slow down, we get faster, sometimes we stop for oncoming vehicles. So your phones can actually give that data. So that helps me in being fit. Because sometimes, because I have to leave very early in the morning, I can't really make the gym. So sometimes, even when I can go for a morning walk, at the end of the day, I can see, I did 12K steps today, I did some steps today. All that, either wearing this watch or having a phone in my pocket. And I'm sure when most of us are walking, we actually keep our phones on our bodies. So it actually counts. So that's just one step. Then, of course, setting alarms, I have a small Alexa, like the bedside.
So he uses Alexa for his living. So go on.
Okay. So I have an Alexa small speaker. It's a small tiny device on the internet. Maybe one in the bedroom, one in the living room. I also have the app on my phone. So basically, first thing in the morning, sometimes I'll ask, what's my schedule for the day? Now, my Alexa is linked to my Gmail account. So I use Gmail as, you go to calendar.google.com. That's actually your calendar. That's free and available on Google. So when anybody tells me, my mother is getting married so big, right there in the living room or right there, I'll say, Alexa, please set a reminder for it syncs to my Google Calendar because I link it. So such things I don't keep track of many things. This meeting, I was working remotely. The pop-up came up and I set a reminder. And when I was setting the reminder, I actually did put the location. So if this was a place I have never been to before, I would go in my calendar app when the pop-up came up. And remember, with Google and Co, it syncs across all devices. So whether it's on the watch, on the computer, you get notifications. So I could just click on the phone, click, and you know where here was, and the navigation will bring me here on the phone. So that's one thing that places I have not been to before. I would look it up on Google Maps, which comes with almost everybody's Android phone as Google Maps, and it's pretty accurate. Another example is I'm going to a far place, maybe some project somewhere in Osun State or somewhere. And I noticed that Google has actually taken their time and they don't Street View for lots of areas. When you go map, you will see a blue line under filters that can show you Street View. So with Street View, they've taken 3 new photos of our streets. The name is fully covered, and you've seen that. The name is fully covered. So when some people actually say they want to go visit me or wherever I am, and I'm having a hard time describing where I am at that time, I'll actually go on the street, take a screenshot from the biggest landmark. The real street, I say, so I need to see so building, and I screenshot it. Then I'll start taking progressive shots at all of them and send this all as a WhatsApp message. So for an elderly person that may not be so, and most of us share things on WhatsApp. For somebody who can really share a thing, they will actually think and say, this is the first picture. This is actually the house, the big church, or big signboard. I will just keep sending those numbers till we get to where we are. So AI is actually very easy to actually have most of these things that we go through. So it's good to always explore and check and try to maximize the use of these our phones. Even as simple as airline. If you are taking a flight on Air Peace or any of our Nigerian airlines, when they send you that email, if you notice, I will actually now get a calendar alert.
Immediately it goes in.
Yes, immediately that email comes to Nigeria, I get a calendar alert. And sometimes, if I'm somewhere in the world or whatever, it will send me a prompt, traffic, so there's a human traffic conditions, because the AI knows the conditions of these roads. So there are so many things that we can use in our daily, from navigation to moving around to planning movement. Because of any traffic, for example, now when I'm going to Apapa or those central business districts, I leave early in the morning. Because if you click on Google Maps and enable traffic, you will actually see that those places are always red. Lots of people are going to Hill, lots of people are actually coming. Uniden, BBTA staff, lots of them are moving in large numbers. So I avoid those. If you current traffic conditions, it will tell you usual traffic conditions. So I know when to avoid lots. So before I move, I actually always look off the map to move around.
Yeah, thank you. So you see, he's using it for ordinary tasks as well. He's also using Alexa. Aren't you bothered by having Alexa all around you?
Well, the benefits outweigh the cons. Lots of my friends were in the same circle of IT engineering and all that, so it's always a big issue. So I have friends who are anti-Alexa, and this device just released them. And I tell them,
number one, that's what I'm saying, is in fact not public, but is in fact not as secure as you think.
Exactly.
So we do note that.
Yes, robots are reading your emails because, first of all, how does Google know I'm going on air is so and so, and it knows my time and it's a great record. So just think of some higher authority. Emails are being read, not in private. But that's why at different levels then of what you do, you have to be more careful. You have the issue of Hillary Clinton versus at a level as Secretary of State. You can be using private emails. But people like me, yes, my email is reliable at gmail.com. My private email, I do almost everything with it because I'm not an MPT like that. I'm just doing common trying to also survive in Nigeria. But not for somebody who is vice president, president, secretary of state, critical, someone who manages critical infrastructure, somebody who does nuclear research, for example, has no business using a private email to correspond with those kind of things, because plutonium and all those kind of things are sensitive. Somebody who works in a dynamite or equipment where you are dealing with dynamite that is regulated, you can't be using private emails. Or personal emails as such.
So you see, it's good you highlight that, because here you find that all of us, and I mean when I was in government I did it as well, you are using your Gmail or your Hotmail or whatever. Why? Because the emails are not functioning as well. But there are actually some sites or some organizations you will communicate with, and they are not going to speak to you because you are using those common ones. The sign of professionalism is your professional email. But they've come to accept it here as a factor of government, because I find they don't insist very much. People, fact of life.
And if I follow up to the question that Madam was asking, corporate emails or using corporate emails, it can help in guide. For example, if someone is trying to do a phishing request and all that, it's not likely Gmail and code they will use. But if you have been corresponding with your corporate email and you are not making a request with Gmail, that should send a flag to the person to say that it's not the right person and you compromise. But corporate emails have people are looking at it, your admin, and they are filtered, they have antiviruses that can prevent this. So someone who are this stalker is always lying to me using the corporate email. Why is not asking for information using the Gmail or Office? So that should be.
That's a flag you have to know. So now when you're talking a typical day, I want you to talk about an instance you told me about. I was intrigued, where you were working for a client and you were given a contract, and the few lawyers here should note this, that I hope you lawyers are looking at the apps for law, because you'll see that many people are looking as well. And also, please, within Google Bard and all these ones, can you tell them to give you a contract of employment or a lease? That lease one, you are getting it flat out, straight, simple, and you will hardly amend it, any human being here as well. So there are many basic things that are all around. I'm not even talking about generating a contract now, but I'm talking about analyzing a contract. So please, let's know about that.
So there was a client that I was consulting for, and prior to them, they had a consultant working for them. Was because why is the consultant doing this? Why is she not doing that? Okay, I don't know. This was 3 hours ago. Sent me the contract because the owner of the business was about to join the person to the call. So basically, I had less than 5 minutes. So the caller said, I'll call so person to the call. So I just sent the contract. I just listed it. Of course, I removed the personal information, which is the organization, both organizations' names, and all those personal. And I think that should be what we should do to please. If you are trying to put things in models, try and make them a bit not no personal information. Yes.
That's the making them anonymous. Yes. What I talked about in the ethical one. Yes. Remove personal details.
Yes. And let it be general.
Yeah.
So I just this quick edit on and pasted the key things. It can be any organization thing. And I just asked them, put that aside and ask for a summary. Then the particular question of whether this person was responsible to bring clients. So that was the issue. And asked the owner, from this summary, is this what some person is supposed to be doing?